Hey everybody, I'm Marlon with Chronic Pain Warriors United. Hope y'all are all doing well and have had a great weekend and a great Sunday. To all you regulars, you're not hallucinating. I am standing. We're doing things a little differently, but changing things up some, as you may be able to see behind me. Also, I just got our design back for the new Chronic Pain Warriors United hats. The first design I've gotten back. So y'all let me know what you think about those. And also, all the new followers, all of y'all commenting and contributing to the page in the comments. I really appreciate it. Y'all are amazing. The channel's growing much quicker over the last month or so. And with all of y'all, we're going to keep growing. It's going to be awesome. Over the last week, I've been talking about the pain clinic system. And if you're going to talk about pain management reform, you can't leave out the pain clinic system or why it has been created and why everything that's happening in it now goes back pretty much to 2016. In 2016, Barack Obama signed the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act. And after that, pretty much everything about the pain management system changed. That's when the DEA and states really started forcing pain patients into the pain clinic system. And that's when the DEA really went after our primary care doctors. I've told this story about my grandmother before, and this is exactly what happened to her. She was driven out of her primary care doctor who treated her pain for years. Effectively, it was great. And she was driven into a pain clinic that had far too many patients, too little doctors, far too many patients, far too few doctors, and it ran like a DMV. They run like DMVs for most of us, I think. She was not treated like a person, like we are. Most all of us, I would say, who have spent any time in the pain clinic system over the last 10 years or so, know how dehumanizing it is and know how destructive it can be for patients. I don't even know how many stories are out there of chronic pain patients choosing to end their own lives because of care that they were given by these pain clinics. The way they were treated. Most of the time it's because they have their medications cut out from under them all of a sudden. And that happens all the time too. But the reason that the pain clinic system is like this for the most part is because so many pain patients were driven out of their primary care doctor's care and dumped or herded into the pain clinic system. There were not enough pain doctors, there were not enough pain clinics to deal with this influx. So countless pain patients wound up living with undertreated or untreated pain altogether. Large numbers of them, I believe, and surveys from places like the Pain News Network support this. A survey they did of several thousand pain patients, it was something like 23% said that they had used the black market at some point in the last year. And countless pain patients have been forced to make that decision. Now, there's some people will say in the comments, you'll see every now and then, I would never use the black market. I would just go without, just suck it up. And not pain patients really saying that. It's usually the people who are trolling for the most part. But there are some people out there, like all of us who live with chronic pain, a lot of times I think we assume everybody else knows what pain is too. Now, most everybody does know what some pain feels like, but there are people out there that do not know what pain feels like, that can't be ignored, that has to be treated. That was me, and that is countless numbers of you who live with high impact chronic pain. So when they're dumped out of their primary care doctor, they can't get into a pain clinic or a pain doctor for whatever reason. And there are countless reasons for that, by the way. And their choices become either suffer pretty much, try alternatives like marijuana and or kratom, or use the black market. And the black market is dangerous nowadays. The fentanyl flood is killing far too many people. As many of you know, I've mentioned before, I used the black market for years, all throughout my early to late 20s into my early 30s, and for years and years, and it almost killed me at the very end. It was tainted drugs. We still to this day have no idea what was in them. Who knows? It sent me into massive seizures, and I woke up 2.5 days later in the intensive care unit, the neurological intensive care unit at the hospital. I was very lucky to be alive. Our co-founder went through something very similar. On top of that, he was dealing with legal charges. They tell him you're not allowed to, the pain clinics and the government through their regulation and whatnot tell my co-founder, your pain isn't worth treating anymore. We're cutting you off. We don't think you should be taking these medications anymore, et cetera, et cetera. So they tell him he can't have his pain treated. He goes to the black market to treat his pain. He gets into legal trouble, and the government charges him with the crime. So you see the circular insanity in that? Not that people who want to use that system should be charged with the crime anyways. I think y'all realize by now, I do not believe that these things are what our founding fathers would call crimes. Using drugs, especially things like pain medications, opium, morphine, etc., was a norm for thousands of years, along with marijuana and psychedelics. And only in the last 120 years or so have governments invaded our lives to the point where they tell us what we can put in our bodies and how we can treat our pain. And that's where I've kind of gotten to, I just can't take it anymore, because people's lives are being ruined and people's lives are being lost because of this. And it is foreseeable and preventable. Our co-founder wound up taking his life days before we were due to launch in late December of 2024. All of this was foreseeable when they first started changing and destroying the pain system post 2016. That's when they really got into high gear. It was happening before that, but that's when they really got going. And all of this was foreseeable, ladies and gentlemen. People like me and people like you, we knew what was coming. There were even doctors and groups like the Cato Institute at the time who published papers saying, don't do this. What's coming is foreseeable. It's happened before, over and over through history since 1915. Don't do it. It's going to harm a lot of people. And that's exactly what's happened. I don't know how many countless lives have been lost altogether. Excuse me. I don't know how many countless lives have been lost altogether. Meaning they're no longer alive on this earth because of undertreated or untreated pain. And then the amount of, excuse me, the amount of time that we lose, the years and weeks, months, years of time that's taken from us that we're not allowed to participate at the level we'd like to in our own lives. I mean, it's stolen from us. This is what these things are really taking. They're not just, forcing us to live in pain. That's bad enough. But they're also stealing parts of our lives from us that we will never get back. And that is not okay. None of it is. So we have got to band together. We've got to demand reform, not just for ourselves today, right now either. If this continues too far into the future, it is going to absolutely do so much damage. I mean, 10 years now and the damage is astronomical. Another 10 years of this, the fentanyl flood will be so embedded that I don't know of anything really that may actually stop it at that point if this goes on another 10, 15 years. It can't. Then on top of that, we have people like us living with high impact chronic pain. We don't have years to wait on this system to change. People's lives are being destroyed and lost, and they're losing their quality of life. They're losing their families. They're losing their careers. They're losing the things they love to do due to undertreated or untreated pain. And it's ridiculous. If our pain was just managed as properly and well as possible, a lot of this would not be how it is. It just wouldn't. We'd be able to take a more active part in our lives. Productivity for the whole fucking country probably would go up. It would be noticeable. But there is such a massive piece of our workforce that has been stolen from us. So much beautiful potential just flushed down the drain and prevented from doing the things they do best just because a government agent man with a badge, a bureaucrat, by the way, and some legislature in some state and their doctor collaborating with them gets together and says, your pain isn't worth treating. Thank you. Have a nice day. Sorry, rant. This is so infuriating. So we're about done. We've got to overhaul the pain clinic system. We've got to start letting our primary care doctors treat our pain again. We've got to get rid of a lot of this burdensome regulation on doctors. My doctor, my pain doctor, has five licenses, 5 license numbers, 3 from the feds, 1 from the DEA specifically as a pain doctor who can also write buprenorphine and Suboxone, which every doctor who writes buprenorphine or Suboxone prescriptions has to get their own DEA certification and license number. That's not even to prescribe traditional pain medications. It's ridiculous. And then he has 2 more license numbers from the state of Alabama. There is no need for that. There's no need for that. It's absolutely ridiculous. Start taking some of this regulation off of these people so that new doctors don't look at the idea of becoming a pain doctor and say, why would I ever want to do that? Excuse me real quick. I got a drink right here. I can't imagine there's any real new doctors, young doctors who are coming into the system that are thinking, I want to sign up to be a pain doctor and have my rectally examined every few days because, some bureaucrat with the badge has a power issue. And that's really what's happening. So I don't blame new doctors for not wanting to take up a part in that system. It is. Anyway, so we've got to let our primary care doctors start treating our pain again. And we got to take off some of this burdensome regulation. And something else that's not necessarily part of that, but is order the DEA to stop ordering the pharmaceutical industry to cut pain medication production. They've done it every year since 2016. The pain medication shortages are causing massive harm. Even to people in hospice and palliative care cannot get their pain medications. The Attorney General and or President Trump can order the DEA to undo that overnight. The DEA ordered it. They got the authority from the AG. Either the AG could order the DEA to do it, or President Trump could order the AG to order the DEA to do it. Either way, I don't care. It needs to get done. So that's 3 things right there that could relieve a lot of pressure off this system and start helping people right off the bat. I know that y'all have your stories. I really want to hear them. Please leave them in the comments. All of this has had a massive impact on mine and your lives. I want to hear them. Like I say at the end of every video, your stories, just like you, are unique and special, and they're a boon to us to show the rest of the world and to use to fight for pain management reform. A lot of people have no idea what is really happening to us or the system in general, and have no idea how bad it truly is. So I still believe that when enough people in this country see an injustice, they know it and will work to fix it. And even if, nobody else does, we're going to build our own grassroots movement to change this system. because it's got to be changed. It cannot stay like this. So I really appreciate you all. Please hit the like and subscribe button on the way out. I'm Marlon with Chronic Pain Warriors United. I hope you'll have a great rest of the night, and we'll see y'all in the shorts at the beginning of the week on Monday. Cheers.